guys, so it's getting to be summertime out, and you know what that means. It's car show season. So today I have not started up my 37 Ford truck in quite some time. It's probably been, I don't know, 6 months or something like that. So I'm gonna have to go through and prime the fuel system. So today I'm gonna show you how to basically prime the fuel system. I'm gonna go over how to basically get the car started after a long sitting period. This will work pretty much on any carbureted car. So if you guys have an old car sitting out there, ran when it was parked, this is probably one of the first things you're going to want to try. You're going to want to have a real nice charged battery. So I have my Optima all charged up. It's been on the battery tender, so I know it's not going to have any issues. So yeah, let's go ahead and pull this thing out. Alright, so one of the first things I'm going to need to do is basically empty this fuel bowl. You can see that fuel has just turned old and bad. I have a lot of fuel in the gas tank. I just got to get this stuff burned off. I mean, it kind of sucks when you have old fuel, but these old motors, I mean, they didn't really require that high of an octane or anything like that. This is basically an oversized lawnmower flathead V8. So anyways, one thing you want to grab, make sure to grab a fire extinguisher because you're messing with fuel, so you never know what could happen. You could get a backfire out the carburetor, start a nice little fire, and you don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and take the air cleaner off the carburetor real quick, and then I'm going to empty this fuel bowl. Just put a little bit of paper around that, some shop towels just so you're not spilling everywhere. Now this just spins at the bottom. Okay. So you're going to want to take that off. So you can see this is normally to the top, but it has a little bit off. So I'm going to go ahead and replace this with clean fuel. I'm going to dump this into an old gas can and get rid of this stuff. All right, so that's what your nice and clean gasoline should look like. So I'm going to go ahead and reinstall this back on here. So this is going to be the first stuff that starts running back through the system. Now this is probably going to get dirty again. This also kind of acts like an old school fuel filter, where basically the big particles would just drop into this fuel bowl and you kind of just be able to see what's going on there. So that looks like it's good there. I got that all tightened up. Okay, now for the next part, I'm gonna go ahead and prime the fuel bowl on the carburetor. So a little vent tube on the top of these carburetors. Okay, it's right here. What you're gonna want to do is just take like a dripper or something, or like a funnel or something. You're gonna want to put gas in there, and what you're doing is you're filling up the fuel bowl so that you can raise the float up in the carburetor. What that's gonna do is it's gonna make it to where the car is gonna be primed, so that when the system starts flowing fuel, it'll have some fuel to keep up. I usually have to do this a couple times just to get the fuel lines like running clean again. So we're gonna try that real quick. So at this point, normally what I do is I just have like a little turkey baster, and I fill this up with gasoline. So I just poured a little bit of gasoline into a container. This is just like a spray paint can. And yeah, this thing's not really rated for fuel, but you know, if it goes bad, I'm okay with that. That's just something you got to deal with. Not a bad idea to have your paper towel around because you're probably going to drip a little bit. Just take that, place it right on there, and I'm filling up that fuel bowl like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna continue to do that until I feel like it's full. Okay, so I'm pretty close to having this filled up. What I'm gonna do is just take the little bit of extra gasoline I have, and I'm just gonna pour that down the carburetor. What that's gonna do is it's just gonna prime all the cylinders to have something to burn right away when I hit the ignition. When you're doing that, you know, you want to make sure you don't put too much fuel in there because you could flood out the car. But I know this truck pretty well, and it can take quite a bit of gasoline in there. You also don't want to put an abundant amount either, because you could basically just wash the cylinder walls, which is going to deprive the car of oil. But let's try this out, see how it goes. I'm guessing it'll fire up but not stay running, so let's see how it goes. here when it starts to lean out, it's starting to lean out, and then it dies. You can already see this is that old fuel. It's already filled up, so it started cycling this out already, so that's good. It's got the system kind of primed. So now I got to do that again, and hopefully I can get it to stay running. Another good tip to do when you're doing this, I had the garage door open when I first started it, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna just fill the garage full of exhaust fumes, and you're running really rich, so it smells pretty bad. And so what I did here is I just put a piece of cardboard behind here, because it's gonna spit quite a bit of black soot and all sorts of crap out the exhaust, because it's gonna be running really rich and whatever's built up in the exhaust pipes or anything like that. All right, prime this one more time. Putting that right down into the fuel bowl. And if it starts flowing out of the fuel bowl, then you know obviously the fuel bowl is overfilled. All right. So that was probably good. Let's try this again. All right, and one more time, because usually when it does that, it's basically my car is running out of fuel. It just runs lean, so when it starts revving up, so basically I put some throttle into it to try to get the system primed, because that's a mechanical fuel pump, so you need the revs to get the pressure up. All right, so I got the car going, running now, so that didn't take too long. Go ahead and put the air cleaner back on there. Go ahead and close the hood up. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Getting it going. It's running kind of rich right now, which is to be expected. And I'll kind of show you back there at the back of the car what I was talking about. So you can see there's soot all over there. Now that went away, but when you first fire up the car, that would just basically be all over my garage door, so that wouldn't be good. So, yep. I guess now it is time to go cruise it around the block.